If you get the system, what would you do? Fang Ping spent half an hour in the classroom on campus. I finally confirmed an amazing thing. I was reborn 10 years ago. But this rebirth world is a little different from my original world. That is, there is an additional subject in the college entrance exam called 5 subjects. The registration fee alone costs 10,000 yuan. For this time 10 years ago, 10,000 yuan was not a small amount. I also doubted if I had heard it wrong. What? The registration fee for 5 subjects is so expensive? After the discussions of my classmates, what master, and 7th and 8th grades, I was even more confused. I could understand every word they said. I could recognize every word when written, but why when they were put together? I couldn't understand it at all. I thought asking too many questions would be very strange. So I decided to go to the internet after school. Back then, the Mature Queen's Pavilion was my dream girl during my school days. Now that I look back, it's because my eyes were a bit crooked back then. After some searching, I finally understood that there are warriors in this world. Martial arts are divided into 1 to 9 grades, and only warriors can start companies. 4th rank can be a governor for life. 7th rank can run a multinational company. Because you have no strength, you can't keep the wealth you earn, unless you have a powerful father to support you. So if you are not a martial artist or a strong person, even if you are a reborn person, I may only spend my life at the bottom. I must take the martial arts exam, but I'm worried again. Not to mention other conditions, just the registration fee for 5 subjects is 10,000, which is beyond my financial ability. Can I only ask my parents for help? My family's not well off. 10,000 yuan is not a small amount now. If I apply for 5 subjects according to my own standards, there's almost no hope. If I ask, will my parents agree? But it's hard to say. For the future, I still have to ask. When the family was having dinner, I expressed my idea of taking 5 subjects. As soon as I finished, the whole room fell silent. 10,000 yuan. After deducting daily expenses, it takes them almost half a year to save. In today's society, martial arts is supreme. But spending 10,000 yuan to gamble on a vague opportunity, is it worth it? It seems that I have to think of another way. Just as I was about to laugh it off, to get away with it, my father pushed a bank card towards me. My mood at this moment was a mix of emotions. My father said directly that whether I passed or not, it's enough that you have this heart. Seeing what my father said, I didn't say anything more. It was useless to say more heroic words at this time. The next day, I went to the bank to withdraw the money. Just as I took the money, my eyes suddenly blurred. There was something suddenly in my sight. A few lines of clear small print. The first thing I thought of was the system. After many experiments, I also understood something. This wealth data is linked to the cash I have. The money that didn't belong to me. Even if I held it in my hand, it wouldn't be counted. The value is too low. It can't be recorded either. Since wealth has changed, my vital energy and spirit should also increase. Then I tried various methods. Uncle Qitong, I trade wealth for qi and blood. 3 immortals above. Amitabha. Little rabbit, be good. I tried for a while. The 3 lines of numbers remained unchanged. I gave up completely. It seems that it has nothing to do with this. I casually said, add some blood. If not, I will beat you to death. But unexpectedly, the number in front of me suddenly changed. My blood and qi increased. My qi and blood value was the second in the class, reaching 113. Look at me. My blood and qi increased. This feeling, It felt like an asthmatic patient suddenly stopped wheezing, and the anemic are no longer anemic. It's very comfortable. It's just a 1-point increase in blood. I feel more comfortable than a big health care. But when I saw my wealth value became 0, I suddenly looked at my desk and saw the red banknotes on it were still there. I breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. The worst situation didn't happen. If the wealth value is consumed and the money disappears, I would have a hard time explaining to my parents. It seems that spending money in the system, the money in reality will not decrease. The next day I came to school. Compared to yesterday's confusion, I felt much more at ease when I returned to school today. Students who want to sign up for 5 subjects now go to the old class teacher's office to pay and register. Hearing these words, I immediately stood up. My desk mate thought I was going to the bathroom. I immediately replied that I was going to sign up, which surprised my desk mate. Taking 5 subjects is not a one-day thing. Everyone will exercise together when they have time at night. Several people also signed up for 5 subject tutoring classes outside. I was the one who suddenly appeared. Everyone was not interested in others, but they were all interested in me. One of the girls even asked me what my blood value was. I didn't know what to say. Could I say my Kizu value is 1.1? The key is that I don't know how it's actually counted in reality, and what unit is it based on? Fortunately, Yang Jian interjected and said, Zhang Nan, Fang Ping has never been checked. Otherwise, he would have said it. Another person said that he measured 108. But Fang Ping is definitely shorter than me. Seeing this, Wu Zhihao suggested that I go to his house to test after school, which shocked everyone. After all, the cheapest Kizu Ju costs hundreds of thousands. After school, I went to Wu Zhihao's house. I started testing on the Kizu instrument. The result was 113 cards, which made Wu Zhihao look unbelieving. My value was the second highest in the class. This also made me understand that the system and reality are just different ways of statistics. 113 points shows as 1.1, which means the conversion ratio is 1 to 100. Back home, I told my parents about it. After learning about it, they gave me some money and wanted me to buy some tonic and said to tell them if I needed more money, which also increased my wealth value again. And I also understand that using the money to buy medicine, it would be a waste if I bought ineffective ones. It's better to rely on the system. So I tried to increase it by 0.1. Spirit power is the same as ki and blood, which also deducted 10,000 wealth points from me. This also improved my concentration, understanding, and memory. Then I stayed up all night reading physics, which made me very sleepy the next day. I came to school and found that there was no class. There was a special task to pick up Wang Jinyang from Wuhan University. I've heard of Wang Jinyang's name before. A student from an ordinary class with not so excellent grades. He was admitted to the Military Science University. He is indeed a celebrity in the small Yangcheng. Wang Jinyang's reputation even overshadowed those who were admitted last year, those who were admitted to Wuhan University of Science and Technology. But I underestimated Wang Jinyang this time. In my eyes, Wang Jinyang looks very ordinary, even if he is a dancer. I only thought he was a freshman in college. So who is Wang Jinyang? Killing is much harder than killing a chicken. In the car, Wang Jinyang shared the tips for the exam. And the most important one is emotion regulation. When emotions like joy, anger, sadness, and happiness reach their extremes, which can make the blood boil, the results of the physical examination are generally higher than usual, and some emotions are difficult to mobilize. But anger is simple. During the physical examination, you can imagine the feeling of being humiliated. To mobilize emotions, once you're angry, passing the physical examination won't be difficult. It's just about explosive power, endurance, flexibility, and other aspects. Of course, there are some useless people growing up in a medicine jar. They only have vitality, but nothing else. Those people are eliminated. You deserve to be eliminated. You still want to hit people. Killing a person is much harder than killing a chicken. My eyes narrowed slightly. Wang Jinyang said he didn't show much emotion when talking about killing, as if he had really killed someone. But in this era, even warriors are bound by the law. There's no chance to kill, and the other is just a freshman. I sent Wang Jinyang back home. I lay on the bed, recalling the scene just now. Killing people is much harder than killing chickens. Why could Wang Jinyang say it so lightly? There is only one possibility. He has killed someone. On the other hand, Wang Jinyang just finished taking a shower. The phone rang. A respectful, middle-aged male voice came from the other end. Mr. Wang, I'm sorry to disturb you, but just received a tip that the suspect has entered Kanshan. Kanshan Mountain runs through 2 provinces. Once the suspect escapes, Wang Jinyang frowned slightly. He was dissatisfied and said that it was agreed before. The suspect would stay there and wait for me to arrive before taking action. Now the suspect has run away. Could it be that you have alerted the suspect? 500,000, no matter life or death. At home, I converted the remaining 10,000 wealth into 0.1 blood. At the moment of blood and keys increase, my blood vessels seemed to be bursting, and it made me roll on the ground in pain. Then I realized that only a strong physique can support the improvement of ki and blood. It seems that physical exercise should also be on the agenda. After realizing this, I suddenly remembered that I had to pick up Wang Jinyang to school. I hurriedly ran out in my school uniform, but I accidentally knocked down a passerby. Is he the new tenant upstairs? I felt weird. In the car, Wang Jinyang noticed my problem as soon as he got on. He said to me that although he understood my idea, you can do anything to pass the 5 subjects, but the body is the foundation. Some powerful drugs must not be taken indiscriminately. A slight mistake could lead to a catastrophe. Fan Ping, I don't know what medicine you took, but your Qi and Zhu have increased a lot, which can easily cause problems. It also surprised me. Wang Jinyang could find his own Qi and blood increase. Is this a dancer? So sensitive to the fluctuation of Qi and blood. I quickly thanked him. Thank you, Brother Wang, for your reminder. When I returned home at night, during the day, my blood energy increased, and my body's not strong enough, which made me nervous. I didn't dare to delay. I immediately started exercising. I don't know if it's because of the improved ki and blood. I felt that exercise wasn't as tiring as before. I really need to listen to Wang Jinyang. I need to strengthen my physical exercise. Suddenly, I felt a strange feeling. My back hair stood up. When I turned around, I found it was the strange man during the day. Was that feeling just now a murderous intent? The man was drugged. He could still stand up with his will. I was exercising at home. Suddenly, my hair stood on end. I quickly turned around. It was the new tenant during the day. Was that feeling just now a murderous intent? I must be imagining things. When I got home, the TV was playing news about a suspect. A second-class peak dancer killed his accomplice. Enthusiastic netizens analyzed the video through self-made software and restored the crime tool. I frowned as I watched the TV. I seem to have seen this knife somewhere. When I slept at night, I dreamed that the suspect who stabbed me with that knife, I woke up instantly. I immediately remembered that knife was the one the man had during the day. Although it was just a dream, But the murderous aura I felt during the exercise was definitely not an illusion. A second-class peak dancer on the run moved upstairs to avoid being caught. Could it be too coincidental? Could he be targeting me? Is it because of money? No, I don't have any money. Could it be because of the system? It's unlikely. The system can only be seen by me. No, I don't want the dream to repeat itself in reality. Before he attacked me, I have to strike first. Then I knocked on the door of the other person, which scared the person inside.